Welcome back, world. This is Ivan Omer here again. This is going to be another side video. So this video will be called a clarification, the consultant, my private IMAX home theater, and my Sky Source 5 movie plan. So this video, I'm going to give a clarification about my last video of the CEOs. I give it some thought and I don't need a CEO. Me and my wife can be the CEOs. Me and my wife, if I hire a CEO, I'm just wasting money. There's no point of wasting $50 million. You can easily have your 17 do all the work for you, and you and your wife just sign the contracts, work on the script, do the concept arts, and then make like a few business calls for like the hotel party. So me and my wife will make the business calls for the hotel party, which is Slack. You just call the hotel and say, I want to rent your hotel for 2 days. I want to have a red carpet event, or I want to have a luxury hotel party there. We meet with Amazon. We negotiate for the 60/40 for the 4K Blu-ray sales and posters on Amazon, sold on Amazon. Like, why would you waste? I did some thought. My God, like Ivan, like me hiring a CEO is me being stupid with my money. I don't need a CEO. Me and my wife can easily be the CEOs, and we can just have our seven team handle the rest of the business. So Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, if they're hired, they're going to be my co-executive producers, and then the rest will be assistant producers, my assistant producers. Because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, if they're hired, I'm going to put them second in command. So me and my wife are the boss, and they answer to us, and the five answer to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. So Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will be the boss over the five. In the second, the other three will be the boss over secretaries, as well as Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will be the boss over the secretaries, as well as the boss over the three. So the accountant, legal advisor, head of production, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, if they're hired, they're going to be the boss over those guys. They're going to be second in command. Right? Again, Jon Favreau will willing to pay him an $18 million bonus before Zanus, and $12 million for the 4 years. Dave Filoni, I'm willing to pay him a $6 million bonus and $8 million for the 4 years of Zanus, as well as bonuses for all the other movies. Yeah. Bonuses for all the other movies. As well. They all get a $100,000 raise. And the other five, they don't get a bonus, but they get a $100,000 raise per movie, which is a nice deal, obviously. And they also get a $2,000 gift card sent to their house. Right, so for this video, I'm going to talk about the clarification video. I'm going to talk about my private IMAX home theater. So instead of me installing a home theater, an advanced home theater system in my living room, I'm going to build my own private IMAX home theater, which is even better. Because there's nothing that's better than IMAX. IMAX is the best it can get. So I'm going to put money into like a $2 million like professional IMAX theater. I'm going to have my own private IMAX theater. If you want to buy an IMAX, if you want to renovate your house to do an private IMAX home theater room, you need to be rich. So those Hollywood celebrities who are A-listers who have money in the bank, they can put money into it. I highly doubt they will, because it's a lot of money. To build an IMAX home theater room in your house is $400,000 minimum, and the high end ones are like $2 million. So you need to be someone who has at least like, I don't know, 20 plus million in your bank or something like 15 plus million in your bank before. If you're someone who has a couple million in your bank, they're not going to spend $400,000 on IMAX, private IMAX here. No. They're going to put probably good 10 grand, 20 grand into a nice home theater system, or they might renovate into a theater room. Most people are probably most likely going to get a home theater system that's cheaper. For $2 grand, you can get a nice home theater system, a big screen TV and a couple speakers in your living room, which is, you're still going to get a good experience with the 4K Blu-ray for all my movies. Right, because Sky Source will be direct to 4K Blu-ray and it'll be sold on Amazon only. I'm not going to sell it online, no. I'm only selling it on Amazon. That way Amazon makes a nice profit for themselves. That way both parties. If I have Amazon as my sole distributor, they're going to make a nice profit for themselves, like $1.5 billion. I'll make a good like $2.3 billion off Zanus from the $970 that I spent. And Amazon will make like 1.4, 1.5 billion. I might even make more. I might even make even 2.5 billion perhaps, or maybe even 3 billion. It just depends on how much people buy it. Right? Me and my wife might even make $3 billion off. Realistically speaking, 2.3 billion around there, and Amazon will make like 1.5 billion. That's around that range. That's the amount of money me and my wife are gonna make off the movie, which is a good investment. Right? Right. I'm also gonna talk about my 5 movie plan. So for those of you who saw my genre video, I told you my 5 movie plan. I'm going to reiterate it. I'm going to talk about my 5 movies I'm going to make. I'm going to talk about what I want the story to be about. And that's how creative I am. I told you, because I have the gift and I'm so creative, I already have an idea of what I want for my movies to be about. Zanus is based off my book. I know what the organizational movie's going to be about. I know what their unique's going to be about. I know what the Hidden Vampire movie's going to be about. And that's why my wife's so stuff for me, and that's why I'm so fucking creative, because I have the creative gift. I told you, if you don't have the creative gift, I know a lot of people in the world disagree with no, Ivan. Like, there's some writers like, Ivan, I wrote my own book. Yeah, you wrote your own book, but I guarantee you your book is boring because you don't have the gift. You don't have the creative gift. You won't be able to write a good story, man. And it's tough for you. It's tough for you to be fluent in English and also have an imaginative mind to tell an amazing story. It's hard for your brain to do both. Hence why there's two minds. I'm gonna keep saying there's two minds. One mind has a creative mind. They're able to tell great stories. Their English may be not bad, but their English is not as good. There's other people who have an intelligent mind, who can pen down beautiful English, but they don't have a big imaginative mind to tell a good story. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I'm telling you right now, I'm living proof of it. I'm not that great of an English writer, and I can write a fantasy novel better than most of these smart people who are smart in English, because they don't. Because I have the gift and they don't. I have the creative gift and they don't have the creative gift. They have the intelligence, they're smarter than me, whereas me, I'm dumber than them in English, obviously. But I'm what? I have a creative mind. I can tell an amazing story because I have the gift. J.R.R. Tolkien had the gift. You know what I'm saying? C.S. Lewis had the gift. Those guys were able to tell amazing stories. Why? Because they had the creative gift. And I guarantee you those guys weren't that great writers. They were not bad writers, but I guarantee you they weren't great writers. Because our minds think differently. If you're a great storyteller, chances are you're not the best writer. You may be a pretty good writer. Your writing may be pretty good, but chances are you're not that great of a writer. Because it's impossible for your brain to be imaginative and also be very imaginative to tell a great story. Like, people have imaginative brain, but in terms of telling a story, it's impossible for your brain to download all the influence of the English literature. That's a lot of processing going on already, and also be very imaginative. No way. And I know a lot of people disagree with me, but they're wrong and I'm right. If chances are, if you're a great writer, you're not that great of a storyteller. I guarantee you a lot of people disagree with me, but I'm telling you right now, Ivan, I know many authors who wrote beautiful written books. Yeah, they wrote beautiful written books, but the story's boring, there's character problems, there's pacing problems. You may win a prize in literature, but you didn't win a prize in commercial storytelling. You may write beautiful literature, but is your story working? How good's your story? Chances are your story isn't that good. Yeah, don't hate me. You know what I'm saying? So for this video, I'm going to talk about the clarification about the CEO. I don't need to hire a CEO. I changed my mind. If I hire a CEO, I'm just wasting money. The only way I'll ever hire a CEO is if I wanted to expand my company. If my company was huge like Disney, I would hire a CEO. If I wanted to build like parks, do video games, sell merchandise like T-shirts and like toys, then I would hire a CEO to handle all that. But because my company, I'm just selling movies and 4K Blu-ray discs and posters, me and my wife can be the CEOs, and we can have our two script developers be our co-executive producers. So Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, if they're hired, they're going to be my co-executive producers. Because I don't need hiring a CEO. You're just wasting money. No, the moment you do it, you're being stupid with your money. I'm not going to pay them like $30 million a year. You're just wasting money. Me and my wife can easily sign the contracts. We can easily make a few business calls. The only thing me and my wife are going to do though for business is the hotel party, the red carpet. You know what I'm saying? Negotiating with Amazon, making the main calls for the cameras, quoting for the cameras, the food, kitchen equipment, and the masks and the machinery for the clothing, and that's it, man. And everything else, my team, the sets, my team could take care of all that. That way, That way you save money and you don't waste money, man. Because at the end of the day, even though Skystar's a huge company, I want to keep my company simple. I don't want to have it become crazy and all that stuff. I'm not going to invest my money in games, and I'm not going to invest my money in merchandise. The moment you do that, it becomes crazy. No, I'm just going to sell my 4K Blu-ray movies on Amazon. I'm going to sell my posters. So the only merch I'm going to have is my posters. That's it. I'm not going to sell T-shirts and hats and that kind of stuff. No. I'll make more money, but the moment you do that, it becomes crazy and it's just more work for you. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you a lot of people are going to be like, Ivan, are you going to turn Zanes into a game? I'm like, no. If Zanes was made into a game, you're looking at an amazing game, but I'm not going to invest my money in games. I'm just going to stick to movies. That's it, man. The amount of money me and my wife are making off the Blu-ray sales is more than enough money. Me and my wife are going to make a billion like 3+ in profit off Zanes. It's more than enough money. We don't need to invest our money in other stuff. Remember how I told you, stick to your business and stick to growing your business. That way you have tunnel vision instead of you investing your money in all these asset-based businesses. The moment you invest your money in asset-based businesses, there's a higher chance you can lose money. Hence why I'm not a fan of the asset-based business, because it becomes brutal and you can lose your money, man. Stocks, restaurants, real estate, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? The moment you invest your money in all that, you can lose money, man. You can lose money. Whereas for art, I don't have to worry about losing money, because not even movie, I know people are gonna pay for that. Whereas no one cares about my hotel. If I build a hotel, it's not guaranteed everyone's gonna go sleep in that hotel. So the moment you invest your money in aspects of business, it becomes risky, and you're being stupid with your money. I'm not gonna invest my money on stuff. I'm sticking to art, and that's it. Stick to the art business or do trade. That's my recommendation. If you want to start a business, do art or start a trade business. Trade business is good. Stay away from aspects of business. You're gonna lose your show to money, man. I'm telling you right now. I've watched all these shows like Shark Tank. You know what I'm saying? Shark Tank, The Profit with Marcus Lemonis. And Marcus Lemonis talked about how he's lost a lot of money. How, you know what I'm saying? He's lost money. He invests hundreds of thousands of dollars in business and he doesn't even get it. He hasn't even seen a return yet. Because for the asset business, if you really want to see a return on your investment, you have to sell your assets. And it's not easy selling your assets. We live in a very competitive business. Hence why you stay away from the asset businesses. So instead of all these guys investing their money, these sharks investing their money in all these businesses, why not just write a book, sell it to your already big audience, and you'll make your money back? You make a couple $100,000 writing a book. That's more money than if you write your own book, you would make more money than the kind of money you'll ever see invest your money in asset-based businesses. Because for asset-based business, to grow your company, you got to keep putting money back into the business, and your hope is that business grows and you can sell it for a lot of money and you make money back. But I told you, it's not easy selling your assets. Hence why stay away from the asset business. I'm sidetracking here. So I hope all you guys, I guarantee you a lot of people who thought of starting a restaurant, doing real estate, and because they saw my video, I'm gonna start a trade business instead. Thank you, Ivan. Yeah, you're welcome. I guarantee you a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm gonna start a trade business instead of starting a restaurant, or doing real estate. Yeah, you're better off starting a trade business or doing art than starting an asset-based business. Because if you do trades, you're gonna make trades. There's a lot of money in that. The only con of trades is labor, and the con of art, you have to be creative, pretty creative. But I told you, if you're not creative, you can always hire creative people to do music for you and all that stuff. And if you're someone who's not born with a creative gift and you want to write a book, then write a nonfiction book. Anyone can write nonfiction. So for someone who's a great writer and you can't write a novel, there's always nonfiction. You can write a nonfiction book about your life, about 9/11, about animals, about your dog. You know what I'm saying? You can write a good nonfiction book if you want to. You don't have to write a novel if you can't write a novel. I'm sidetracking here. 13 minutes. Right? So I'm going to talk about my SkySource 5, my clarification, my private IMAX home theater, and my SkySource 5 movie plan. So I'm going to be making 5 movies. There's a good chance after the 5 movies, guys like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will probably retire. Because those guys are going to be old. By the time I make the Western Gangster movie, finish the Western Gangster movie, Dave Filoni will be pushing 70 if he's hired. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni will be like pushing 70 years old. Jon Favreau will be in his mid to late 70s. There's a good chance after the Western Gangster movie, I'm going to talk to John and Dave if they're hired. I'm like, hey guys, I think it's best you guys retire. And I'll hire a new team. Whereas the other guys, they might maybe work for maybe another movie or so if they're younger. There's a good chance the secretaries and accountant and legal advisor, those guys are probably going to be in their 40s, early 40s or something like that. So by the time the Western Gangster movie is finished, guys like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, if they're hired, there's a good chance they're going to retire. And with the money that I pay them, they're gonna have a nice retirement. Especially guys like Jon Favreau, he's gonna have a nice retirement. Dave Filoni will have a nice retirement. Live their life for a good 20 more years before they die. I'm gonna tell them, hey, look, man, you guys are getting old. I think it's best that you retire and have me hire someone else who's younger. That way, because I want you guys to enjoy your retirement. Last thing I want to happen is have these guys work for me and they're in their 80s and they never got to enjoy retirement. No. After the Western Gangster, there's a good chance I'm going to tell guys like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, I want you guys to retire. Retire, that way you can enjoy your life for a good 15, 20 years. Because there's nothing worse than retiring when you're 85 and you only enjoy retirement for 5 years. No. when you're in your mid-70s, around that time, those guys are going to retire, and I'll have them enjoy their life for good, like 15, 20 years. That way they can enjoy their life. Right? I'm also going to talk about this, bringing George Lucas as my consultant. Before I said I'll pay him 700 grand, no, I'll pay him 500 grand. I'm being too generous. I'll pay him a good, I don't know, pay him a good like 400 grand. I'm not, the consulting is not much work. Pay George Lucas a nice, like, I don't know. I said 700 grand, that's too much money. Pay him a nice like 350K to consult. You gotta watch for your budget. I'll pay George Lucas a nice 350K to consult for the 4 years. Because consulting is slack. You just tell them some simple ideas. So the guy's already rich. I'm gonna pay him like 350K to consult. I'm not gonna pay him $1 million. That's crazy. No, the only do it to consult $1 million is they're ripping you off. No, I'll pay him a good like 350,000 to consult, around there. To consult for my last Representatives movie. And it's George Lucas will be saved. Obviously, he'll be in his early 80s by the time I hire him. He'll be like 80. He'll be like 80 years old by the time I hire him to consult, so he'll be in his early 80s, and then if he's chosen, he'll be lucky. He's gonna be saved, obviously. Before he dies, he's gonna say, "Hey, I got to experience success and fame with Ivan and VJ." And speaking of success, I remember my last video, my 2 videos ago, when I talked about paying how much I want to pay the 2 script developers, the bidding war. I talked about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Well, Zack Snyder's Justice League Restore the Snyderverse was trending on Twitter. Let's keep this trend going. Let's try and hit like 1 million. Let's try to hit 500,000 to 1 million trends for the Restore the Snyderverse on what? On social media. That way we can get that Zack Snyder's Justice League sequel, man. Let's get this thing trending, man. Let's get this trend going. Restore the Snyderverse. To all you Justice League fans out there around the world, go to HBO Max, watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. And let's get this thing trending to 500. Let's aim at 500,000 tweets for trends for Restore the Snyderverse. That way we can get that Justice League sequel, man. Show Zack Snyder some love, man. Show the guy some love. I believe he deserved better. I believe Justice League, Zack Snyder League was an amazing movie. It was better than Avengers 2, in my opinion. It wasn't better than the other Avengers, but it was better than Avengers 2. Avengers 2, I didn't enjoy that much. That was the worst one in the whole sequels. Zack Snyder Justice League was an amazing movie. Let's get that thing trending. That way we can get what? Justice League 2. Let's get this thing trending. Restore the Snyderverse. All you guys go on Twitter and let's get this thing trending. Restore the Snyderverse. That way Warner Bros. Can make that Justice League 2 sequel. Right? That's how fucking nice I am, man. That's how powerful I am. You saw like 50,000 tweets for Restore the Snyderverse. Let's try and make it 500,000 tweets. That way we can get Warner Bros. Attention. And that way we can get that Justice League movie going. Right. Anyways, welcome back, world. Babylon for 18 minutes. Welcome back, world. This is Ivan Mayer here again. I just want to say that you better enjoy this very interesting miscellaneous series as is soon coming to an end, as you're only looking at 4 videos after my final analysis. I'm going to keep saying this. You better fucking enjoy this series while you can, as you're only looking at 4 videos left. Yeah, I'm making this side video, but my next video will be my grammar video. Then design my map, formatting, swim the sharks. And after that, my final analysis. And after I find out how wiki you are, that is the last time you're ever going to hear from me again. And you keep taking for granted. Because once I found out I have to die and be a porn star, all I'm going to think about is getting it over with and living the life as king. And my wife crew with me. I'm not going to think about making videos on my Super Samples channel after what you did to me, and then you're not even going to talk to me in the public eye. Because you're choosing not to talk to me in the public eye, I'm not making any videos for you. Get what you fucking deserve. You reap what you fucking sow. You wanted to keep behind the scenes, hence Ivan Mayer be kept behind the scenes, and when he's king, you're left out. You would have seen me in the public eye had you let me be my wife and open doors for me. Because you guys are stupid, you somehow foolishly thought, oh, if we cause this mess in Ivan's life, have Dildo Horror Man's life, and cause mess in VJ's life, I have not be approached on killing innocent man, and now I'm talking about Ivan and VJ will somehow make videos for us. I'm like, guys, once I pay this fee, I'm not even going to think about my side of this channel. Once I'm king, all I'm going to think about is living the life of my wife forever, making all these big budget movies, traveling around the world, you know what I'm saying, living the great life in Vancouver, enjoying my 100 room night with a condo, traveling around the world, going to events, buying nice clothes, cruising, you know what I'm saying. Me and my wife are going to have an endless bucket. That's all I'm going to be thinking about. I'm not going to think about my Super Sounds channel. I'm going to be famous. I'm a star now. Once I see all those trends online, I'm totally going to forget about my Sound House channel, because now I'm feeling on top of the world and I'm seeing all these trends online. Every day, people are taking pictures of reels of me and my wife. Me and my wife are going to feel on top of the world. We're going to be so famous. I'm going to totally forget about this sabotage channel. That's what you guys need to understand. Once I'm king, I'm not even going to think about my sabotage channel. I'm going to think about living the life with my wife forever. And you guys will keep taking for granted because you guys are reprobate people. I can give you so many warnings and you still think I'm going to make videos because you guys are fucking crazy people. Once I find out how wicked you are, I'm not making any more videos for you. You're going to be left behind and you're going to pay this horrific price. Because you made me pay a horrific price to be my wife, you're also going to pay a horrific price. You're going to be left out and abandoned by God. And me and my wife are going to live forever in this world. Our generation past, me and my wife continue to live on. You guys are all going to die and hence you made your choice and you guys should fucking deserve. Yeah, there you go. Right? So I just want to say that you better fucking enjoy this very interesting miscellaneous series world as it's soon coming to an end. As you're only looking at 4 videos until my final announcement, as I should be making my Grammar Phase 4 announcement in about like a couple days from now, in a week's time. Hence, you better fucking enjoy this series worldwide so can. I'm going to keep saying that. That way you know I'm not fucking playing around. Because I don't play around during comedy. I don't play around with suffering death. If death doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will. Because you guys are fucking crazy people, man. You think after causing this mess in my life, killing me, and not even taking the time to mention me in the public eye, you keep my channel sabotage of 5 subscribers with disrespect. You think I'm going to take my time to make free videos for you? No, man. I'm not going to do like that, man. Once I pay this fee, I'm piecing the fuck out with my wife, and you're never going to hear from me ever again except for the trends online, the ads on my website, the doctrine, and movie shows. That's it. I'm not making any live videos for you. Zero, man. You're gonna. I'm telling you now, because I'm not kidding around. Because you made me pay my wife, you're gonna pay a fucking price, man. You're gonna be left out and abandoned by God, man. And I'm gonna live my great life, my great billionaire life with my wife, and you're gonna be left out and abandoned by God. You get what you fucking deserve, man. Right? So, just for clarification, to all of you who watched my last video whereby I talked about the CEOs I want to bring on board, I've given this some thought, and I decided that me and my wife do not need a CEO, as we will just be wasting a lot of money, wasting a shitload of money, as me and my wife can sign all the contracts. And I personally want to sign the actors. I want to know how much these guys are getting paid. I want to sign the actors for all my movies, and I also want to sign all the crewmen. Because signing contracts is slack. You just put the pen and paper. The actors you might have to negotiate a little bit, but to sign the contracts is slack. You just put the pen and paper, you shake hands to the deal, then you send in the next group of people. It's slack. Me and my wife can easily sign all the contracts. You fly in 12 people a day, you sign 12 people, it's slack, and you take them out. It's fucking slack, man. So me and my wife can easily be the CEOs. We don't need a CEO. It's a waste of money. I'm not going to hire a CEO if I don't need a CEO. You're just wasting money. So give it some thought. I'm no longer going to hire a CEO, as you're just wasting a shitload of money. And I prefer I personally want to be executive producer for all my movies. I want me and my wife to be the executive producers for all our movies. Right? That way we have financial control, which is good. As if I hired a CEO, me and my wife wouldn't be executive producers. I would just be co-writer and cast in the movie and director, but I wouldn't be executive producer. And I want to be executive producer for all my movies. That way what? BJ and Ivan the Boss. When you see the Zane's trailer, you're going to see executive producer Ivan the Mayor and Victoria Justice. You're going to see how bossy and wife are going to look. This is top notch. Right? So I gave it some thought and I decided that me and my wife do not need a CEO, as we'll just be wasting a lot of money. As me and my wife can sign the contracts and make a few business calls and have the 7 team handle the rest of the 9% of the business. So 7 team, I can easily if I were to hire a CEO, the duties that I would have him do, I can easily have my 17 make all those business calls. So you're just wasting, you're wasting dozens of millions of dollars. We can easily have your 17 handle all that. So I'll have my team handle 99% of the business calls, and then me and my wife can just focus on a few of the main stuff. So me and my wife will call Virgin Hotel, we'll fly in the owners, sign a contract, give them $10 million for the hotel party, luxury hotel party, the red carpet events, right, and the buffet and all that stuff. And then we'll also make the calls for the cameras. We'll lease a good 7 IMAX cameras. IMAX camera is the best camera in Hollywood. Me and my wife make calls for the cameras. So while I'm writing my script, my wife can call a company and make the calls for the IMAX cameras. Hey, I want to lease all your cameras, your IMAX cameras. I want to lease 7 of your cameras. I want the cameras all updated. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife can make the calls for the food. I'll have the head chefs give me and my wife all the ingredients that we need. And me and my wife can call the best farms in New Zealand, in Switzerland. Best farms in Switzerland or in America, and we can order all the food for the 2 years, for the crewmen, and for the 3rd year and the 4th year, as well as post-production. Make the calls for kitchen equipment, the equipment for the mass, the equipment for the mask, and then the equipment for the sewing machines for the costumes. Because I want the main actors' costumes custom made. The extras you can just lease costumes, but for the main actors, I want their costumes custom made. I'll have like good like 4 or 5 clothings per each of the main actors. Have the clothing designer design all their clothing. Have them custom made, and everything else you just call a top notch clothing company. You lease the clothing for the actors. You're looking at 60,000 extras for Zane. So this is something unheard of, man. Whereas in Hollywood, the max they have is like 1,500 extras. And they just add the CGI effects whenever they have huge gatherings. So for me, I'm actually going to hire 6,000 extras. For the war, I'm actually going to hire 25,000 wolves for the war, 15,000 men for the army. It looks something unheard of. As in Hollywood, they have like a couple hundred people, and they just add their CGI. Where me, I'm actually going to have thousands of people for the war. Hence why you need to lease like big property. I'm going to lease probably like 100 acres of land. Because for the war, you need space. You need to find land for the war and all area for the war and all that stuff. And that's where they're going to build all the sets. Yeah. Hence why Last of Us will be the best one ever made. It's something unheard of. Right? So me and my wife will make the calls for the hotel, the red carpet, lush hotel party, the cameras, the equipment for the masks, the sewing machines, the food, the kitchen equipment, and that's it. That's all. So me and my wife are doing slack business work, and we'll be signing the contracts. That's all me and my wife are going to be doing. So we're going to make a few business calls, like a couple business calls the first year, and just work on a script, do the concept arts, and sign the contracts. The people are going to be thrown in the first year to sign those contracts, and sign the contracts every day, 5 days a week the second year. Because in the second year, you're looking at like 7.5 months of takeouts. So every day, me and my wife we practice lines in the morning. In the afternoon, we sign the contracts with like the 12 people who are going to be flown in every day. And we do the takeouts with them afterwards. So me and my wife are going to be living the life the second year. So the only hard work will be the creative part. Like me taking my directing notes and practicing my lines. My wife has to practice her lines. I have to take my directing notes, go over my directing notes, and I have to practice my lines. And hence why after Zanus, I am never directing and acting again. After Zanus, I'm retiring as a director. For all my other movies, I'm just gonna hire a director to direct the movies, take the stress off me, and I'll just write the script, executive produce, and I'll be casting the movie as an actor with my wife. That way, it takes the stress off me. Right. So the seven team, we making 99% of the business calls, and me and my wife will make like 0.5% of the business calls. Slack work, signing contracts and making a few business calls, and that's it. Hence why you don't need to hire a CEO, as your 7 can easily handle all the work for you. And that's why you pay a lot of money, that way they work hard for you. Because John Favreau and Dave Filoni, if they're hired, they're going to be hard at work. Hence why you pay them a fat bonus, that way they work hard for you. Right. So me and my wife can sign the contracts and make a few business calls. I already told you what kind of business calls me and my wife are going to make. And have the 7 team handle the rest, 99% of the business. Hence, me and my wife will be the executive producers, and John Favreau and Dave Filoni, if they're hired, will be the co-executive producers, and the others will be the assistant producers, and the secretaries will be the co-assistant producers. That's how it's going to work. Right? So instead of wasting millions of dollars hiring a CEO when you can just have your team handle the business, you and your wife sign the contracts, meet with Amazon to negotiate a deal. Remember, 60-40. If Amazon's greedy, I'll just release my movie online. As I'm not a fan, I'm not going any lower than 40%, man. The maximum to go is 40% for Amazon. Even 41 or 42%, I'm not going to accept. The maximum to go is 40% for all the markets, and I don't want you taking a percentage of for the payments. You get 40%, I get 60%, and you don't take a percentage off any of the payments. That's a fair deal. You're making free money, and I'm investing all the. I'm taking all the risk. I'm investing all the money. You're not investing any money. You're making free money. You're not taking any risk. Hence what? Hence 60-40 is a fair deal. And Amazon's greedy. I'm just going to release my movie online. I'm not going to agree to the deal. I'll release my movie online. I'll make more profit for releasing online anyways. Because online you make more profit than 4K Blu-ray. Well, 4K Blu-ray you make a lot of money if you price it well. And my series will be about $200. If I want to, it's probably going to be about $40 in cost around there. I'm going to price my series for $200. Yeah, for me to make a nice profit myself, I have to price for a lot of money. My Zane series will be like $200. $180 to $200 around there. Right? So instead of wasting millions of dollars hiring a CEO, I can't believe I made that video. Sometimes I look back, I can't believe I made that video. That was stupid. Like, me hiring a CEO is just me being dumb with my money. No, I don't need to hire a CEO. So instead of me wasting millions of dollars hiring a CEO when you can just have your team handle all the business, you and your wife sign the contracts. Me and my wife will be signing all the contracts. We'll be meeting with Amazon to negotiate a deal and make a few business calls. I told you the kind of business calls we were going to make. Do the concept arts, and I'll co-write the script with my script developers. So me hiring a CEO is a stupid decision on my part, as you're just wasting a lot of money. I also don't want to go over $1 billion for my last resilience investment. So for my last resilience investment, I don't want to go over $1 billion. Hence why I don't want to hire a CEO. Because if I hire a CEO, I'm going to go over $1 billion. I'm going to 1.1 billion to 1.2 billion will be going towards. That's a lot. It's too much. I don't want to go over $1 billion for the investment. Right? I'm already paying John for having to leave the only fat bonuses. That's like what? Almost $1 billion. Yeah. I don't want to go over $1 billion. That's why I'm not hiring a CEO. Right? I'm shut my camera off here.